Welcome to a very special episode of the CEOs of the Six. This time, the mic is flipping. It's my birthday, and instead of being your host today, I'm actually in the hot seat. I'm being interviewed by the amazing Prinka Singla, who you might remember from last week's episode. And let me tell you, she came prepared with questions. So much so, we had to turn this birthday episode into a two-part series. In this episode, I'm opening up like I never have before. From starting a beauty business with no roadmap, no support, or no safety net. From navigating toxic relationships, narcissistic abuse, immense grief of losing a loved one, to finding the purest form of love and moments in between where I honestly didn't know if I could just keep going, but I did it anyway. If you're in the season of building from scratch or quietly carrying heavy things while chasing your dreams, this one's for you. So grab your bevy or just a moment to breathe because we're about to get real. So let's dive in.
Hello, Sonam.
Hi, Prinka. Welcome back.
Thank you. Well, this time the tables have turned. Mm-hmm. You are sitting in the hot seat today.
I am. I'm a little nervous.
Well, don't be. You're gonna do amazing, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be able to do this with you. You're always asking us and the other CEOs questions. Now it's time to ask you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So let's start with, how it all began. What drew you into the beauty industry?
Where it all began. Oh my gosh. It feels like it's an entire lifetime ago. Yeah. I guess it began for me as a kid. I was just always drawn to makeup. My mom and I were always, we were always watching beauty pageants. I know that's like a little silly to do, but we would love the big hair, the big makeup and lashes and like the body bronzer. And we used to be like, how did they achieve this like satin skin?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And we were just like mesmerized by it at that time. And I was pretty lucky because my mom was very interested in makeup too.
I was going to ask.
She has a hand. Okay. And all her friends always went to her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To help them with their makeup. Yeah. She's got like really big lids, so she was always like experimenting.
Yeah.
And so that kind of naturally got downloaded into
I love that.
Me.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I guess I was just like, I want to do this as a career. So I used to go into my mom's office in the summer, like summer vacations and things like that. And she would work at the Eden Center. So she's like, okay, I'll get off work a little bit early. Why don't we go shopping?
That's so cute.
And then, she was so cute. She would book. She's like, oh, so they're doing like free eye makeup demos, but like I signed us up for this slot.
That's
Let's
so
go.
Cute. Yeah.
And we just have to buy like stuff that they're trying out for you, and this way we can get like our nice eye makeup, and then we can come home with
that's
like, it's so
cute.
But those ladies were so intimidating and polished and put together. I was like, I don't know if I'm scared of you or I'm gonna be like you. So growing up, I think that was like that glamorous moment or what I sort of looked up to.
Yeah.
Little did I know one day I would actually work for MAC for a short period of time at the beginning of my career.
Is that how you started?
I didn't start like that.
Yeah.
So what was interesting was I already started my freelance business.
Okay.
And I just wanted some extra cash at the time. And I wanted to work with a cosmetic company to understand how brands work. How do they train? How do they train their staff? What's the whole process like? I was just new. I was so young, right? 20, like not maybe even younger. So I was like, I want to do this. So I became an on-call artist, which was really flexible. I could say yes or no to. I was also working a full-time job in real estate, which I'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot. I was just like, but when you're young, you're like, I'll do anything and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And what else is there to do, right?
Exactly.
Work felt like, my makeup work felt like an escape.
Right.
And
that makes sense.
I did not love my 9-to-5.
Yeah.
As much as, I had good people I was working for, but I hated the job. I hated the industry. And you know what? I hate to say this, the way real estate, especially in like our South Asian community. The way it used to be back then, I'm sure it's still this way. There's a very like bro kind of vibe.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know. There's this like very cokey energy.
Oh my.
There's no other way to put it, right? There's this like measuring contest going on constantly. I'm sorry.
Actually, yeah. I know what you mean.
It's my birthday.
I think it's still that same energy.
Episode, so I'm gonna swear.
You can say whatever you want on this episode.
Little sass coming out. But it was literally that. And I was just not into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I feel like it probably is the same kind of energy. Depending on the company.
I think depending on the company, I think now women have really taken the forefront.
I was going to say.
In real estate.
There's a lot of women-run real estate companies.
That doesn't mean that, same thing doesn't happen there.
Yeah.
But I think there's a little bit more of a polished approach, at least from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
My broker at the time was female, very brilliant, and our office was actually connected to her in-laws' office as well.
Oh.
So her and her husband worked together.
Oh.
And it became like a family affair. So it was really nice.
That's nice.
And I would fly down to Florida all the time because we were doing Florida properties.
Oh, wow.
So that was an interesting time of my life. But you had to get a real job because I needed to get out of my house as soon as possible. I needed to save up a down payment and GTFO.
Yeah.
Right? Because I could not live at home.
Yeah.
It was too difficult.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get it.
Yeah. I had two very I don't know if they're traditional, but there's the Indian man. If I don't need to say any further, right?
Yeah.
So two of them. And it was just like, my mom would tell me, she's like, Sonam, save up and get out.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, you have my blessing.
Aww.
Just go. She was always like my cheerleader on the side.
Your
She's
mom
like,
seems amazing.
She is.
Yeah.
She really is. She's my strength. I mean, although sometimes like I want to.
That's normal.
Yeah, it's normal.
I feel like that's like any child. Like my parents are great, but like I have my moments with them all the time. Yeah. Right? Like,
and it would be weird if you're hum sat sat family.
Oh
right?
yeah, that Bollywood shit. It's all just a movie.
Perfect.
It's all a movie, guys.
Exactly. Although I don't know my in-laws how they're pretty.
Oh yeah,
perfect.
you were saying.
Knock on wood. Yeah. No, they're just
hum sat sat
kind, calm people. They have their priorities in the right place.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, coming back to your first question, which was that's sort of how I got into it. Maybe the segue was I studied fashion design.
Oh, no way.
I studied fashion design, and I did that because I started modeling from a very young age. And what I realized was, okay, this is just fun, right? In high school or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like not the way modeling is today.
Yeah. Where
you can just do this as a side hustle and work.
I
was agency
demanding.
level being flown for projects,
yeah.
right? It got to that point. I don't know how. It just sort of happened. You're young.
You just kind of go for it. Yeah.
And my mom encouraged me because she's like, I think you need to work. Like, I want you to improve your confidence. So, and that's where I started loving
the whole beauty industry
too, right? I see all these things that I've learned from like the pageants. And, I'm mimicking the same. Okay, how did you do this highlight? How did you do this contour? And I want to. So I play with that.
Yeah.
A lot of times I would just end up doing my own makeup.
I get that.
Because you know your own face. Right?
Yeah. Some people are very just like particular with how they like
I think I was that person. I never wanted to upset the artist. I would always ask, I'm like, is it possible I can like maybe just line my own lips, or just simple things like that. I was very clear at what most of the time they're like, of course, don't even worry, whatever makes you feel confident. And that's where I learned that. That's where I learned that. I was like, thank you for understanding that, because now I can show up and pose that I'm if something feels off, you're not comfortable being in front of the camera.
Of course, and I think like that's a thing with like being a makeup artist or whatever. It's like at the end of the day, it's trying to make the person feel comfortable, right? And not to take it personal. Yeah. If someone's like, "Oh, can I do this myself?" Right? It's just like this is for you, so whatever makes you feel
exactly. And it's like it's a form of self-expression.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up realizing, it's like, okay, I need to be behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. This is what makes me tick. I don't like vanity.
Okay. Yeah.
And maybe my brain processes being the model, and like you're being celebrated just for your beauty.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is not wrong either, but I don't know. It wasn't just, I wanted to do more.
I get it.
In the creative process of things.
Yeah.
So I said, I love garments. I love, like, I have such a good design sense.
Yeah.
I should do this. So when I went into my design program, I absolutely hated it.
Oh.
Oh my God. I was like, there's literally no point of doing this in this part of the country. If you want to learn fashion design, you got to go to India. You got to go. Yeah, 100%. You got to go.
Actually, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because what they're training you for is to become a seamstress.
Right. Exactly.
That's it. And to work for a big fashion house. My
Yeah.
dream was like, hey, I want to have my own line.
Yeah.
I want to create my own things.
Yeah.
But it was just such torture. I just found the whole program. Our floor was on the 3rd floor and we didn't have access to elevators. So we're walking with like drafting paper rolls and sewing kits and so much stuff up and down stairs. I was just like, I'm exhausted now. Just
I get, like, for me, like, I love the fashion industry, right? And like, I also, like, it's like I want to have my own line, but I am more so, I want to be like the vision, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I want to be able to be like, this is my vision, this is what I want it to look like, and I want to hire someone to actually create it.
Yeah. You know, you still can understand the technical side.
Yes.
So that's one thing I did learn, right? The technical aspect of things. And now I know how to do like a technical drawing. Right? That's very important when it comes to garment construction.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going into like couture and things like that. I'm not going to say that I didn't learn from it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I worked with a few designers and that's how I ended up coming back to makeup. They're like, you know what, Sonam, you do this so well. Why am I hiring an artist?
Oh, wow.
Just do the makeup.
That's
do the hair.
Amazing, yeah.
And I just remember just feeling like I was on fire.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing lit me up
the way
I like that way until I picked up a brush and like
oh my God, that's how you know.
That's when you know.
It's so interesting how it just kind of falls in.
It falls exactly
into the right place at the right time. Yeah.
So then I went into makeup school. I actually went to a professional makeup school, which now I don't think a lot of schools offer actual diplomas.
Yeah.
I'm like OG, right?
Yeah.
I think this was like 2007 or 2008.
Oh wow. Yeah. Now like there's like certifications and
now people learn from artists.
Learning,
which is actually a very good thing to learn from as many artists as you can.
Everyone has different techniques. Find out which technique works for you.
Exactly. So you don't need to go the traditional makeup school diploma route, but I did that because that's what was available at the time, and I was always like teacher's pet.
I love that.
And teachers like just
you're
get out of
fine.
here.
You're fine.
You don't want to come to class. That's fine. You know. I used to like sit into the special effects class sometimes and just like eavesdrop. I'm like, this is so boring. Yeah. Because I know this.
Yeah.
But
you want to challenge yourself. What's happening there?
What's happening there? And I actually picked up a lot of special effects
That's
tricks.
So cool.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
So then it was for me was, should I pursue special effects and, you know, create prosthetics, or do I go into hair, which is the more practical route if I want to work in bridal, if I want to do all of those things. And at that time that was lucrative, right? Because there weren't a lot of South Asian makeup artists. There were like the few Shirley
OGs,
and the OGs. It was not nearly like it was today. So the good thing was, because I was working with designers, they were like, listen, we're just gonna pass you clients.
Oh, that's amazing.
And brides, right?
That's actually that's amazing, yeah.
So that's how I started my makeup gig.
Yeah.
I would pick up a few weddings here and there. Then I was like, no, I have to upgrade. I'm going to go to hair school. Now with hair, I didn't know, do I want to work in a salon? Mm-hmm. Or do I want to just do freelance styling?
Yeah.
But I have to know it all before I can decide.
Yeah.
So I think the good thing about being young and, you know, having the time and being, you know, I'm going to try everything.
Yeah. No, I know. That's amazing.
And my mom was always
I support you.
I support you. Figure it out. If this is not working for you, don't be miserable. Because I think she felt stuck and miserable. So she lived through me.
Right. Vicariously through you.
Yeah. So she's like, don't be stuck. Just do
do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And with hair school, I started realizing I'm actually very good at this.
Yeah. And you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So then after I finished my apprenticeship, because you have to go through an apprenticeship with hair. It's a Red Seal trade. You have to get your license, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Then I just got sucked back. I don't know how to say sucked back. But I just basically...
Gravitated.
Yeah.
Pivoted.
My career took me into bridal.
Yeah.
Just naturally.
Yeah.
The money was great.
Yeah.
You know, I was single.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in a relationship,
Yeah.
but like still single, right?
Yeah.
Not married.
Yeah.
So I was like,
why not?
literally within a year, all the money that I saved from my hair and makeup gig, I was so determined. I'm like, I will not like go shopping, you know, because I need to save this cash to build my kit further and to move out. And I bought a house at 24.
That is amazing.
From my makeup money.
That is amazing. These days, I don't know how anyone's going to be able to buy it.
I don't know. I really don't.
That is very inspiring.
Yeah. And it was also to, how do I put this in not such a crass way, but basically it was also kind of a you. It was like a giant you to the people that didn't take me seriously and they didn't think this was a lucrative career. And I'm very ziddy, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll show you.
Now I'm going to show it to you even more.
Even more.
Yeah.
So I did it. I mean, I'll tell you, I did not know my head from my ass. I did not know. I didn't have money for new furniture. I like the way kids and people, like, you know, you live with your parents for a little while, you earn, you save all your money for 5-6 years, then you have this solid foundation and you have like savings and I just needed to get out so badly that I was willing to sleep on a mattress. I didn't.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I did. I furnished and
that's amazing. That's
I did what I could to
live well.
To live well, yeah. I built slowly.
Yeah, of course, and that's how it happens usually, right? Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it was. And then obviously I still continued to work my full-time job, but then the weddings were getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And I think by the end of the last year of me working at this job, I became very depressed, like severely.
Oh, wow.
It was just, I think, you know, when something starts to eat at your soul and it makes you feel hollow. And I was going through a lot of like relationship issues at the time. I was like, I can't, you know, when you can't get out of bed.
You just can't get out of bed. Yeah.
Like you're completely paralyzed. Yeah. So that was the state that I ended up in, even though I was like loving what I was doing with my makeup and hair career.
Yeah.
But everything else in my life was just not.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I think when that's happening in your life, no matter how much like these outlets and these creative outlets are present, sometimes it's hard to completely just get out of it.
Yeah. Right? And I will actually expand on this a little bit later too, this particular topic, because I think there's a lot of, it's an important subject for women who are starting out their careers, their businesses or whatever. A lot of them are younger. Like what relationships, how they impact you. It's very, very important to notice the red flags and walk away.
I've been there.
Walk away. But it is not worth the number of years I wasted of my 20s.
Yeah, and how much energy you put.
What I could have done.
Yeah.
What you could have done to utilize that energy that someone stripped from you. Yeah. That could have been used creatively.
I know.
That you could have had a better flow state. You would have done more for this world. You would have put out more good energy. This toxicity just, you know, so anyway, I said, I should get more into that a little bit later. But that was basically kind of how I got into makeup.
That's amazing. Yeah. So makeup was the first thing that kind of drew you, not hair.
Yeah, makeup was the first.
How did you get into hair?
It was because I got into makeup. And I realized like how the two go hand in hand. And one feels very incomplete without the other. Of course, like there's tons of people that, you know, get their hair done and they don't wear a lot of makeup. Yeah. But I'm talking about on like when you're getting ready for an event. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Even a light blow dry
Oh yeah.
puts the whole look together.
Yeah.
You know, I have a client, she says this, she gave me this little phrase, which I use all the time. Your face is the outfit. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
The hair is the outfit. The face is the outfit.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're absolutely right. You could wear the simplest
I was
thing.
just gonna say, it's true.
Yeah.
You could wear the simplest thing, but if you're all done up with your hair and makeup, you're like, yeah, I'm good.
and polished. You know, it
Yes.
doesn't have to be so over the top.
No. Yeah.
Just very polished.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt like this is my moneymaker, you know?
Yeah. I love that. Oh my God, that's so cute.
But yeah, like even for women, that there are a lot of women that are like afraid to wear makeup. They'll spend all this money on their, I don't know, their bridal outfits.
Yeah.
They'll spend all this money on like clothing, which is great.
Yeah.
I know fashion has its own place in the whole thing.
Of course, yeah.
But you gotta just have everything cohesive.
Yes.
You
I
can't
agree.
ignore one. And
No.
this whole thing about I'm very natural.
But even that comes with being put together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even like when it comes to like fashion, even if you're wearing like sweats, there's a way of
Putting it
together.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, there's a method to it. And of course, simplicity with makeup is fine.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes like when you've defined it as unimportant, you know, in the whole picture, then you're just going to, it's missing something. It's missing the magic overall.
Yeah.
The nice thing is, I think it's changed now over the years. I think when I started in the industry, I saw a lot more of that. I had every client was like, oh my God, too much concealer, too much this. And with Instagram and social media and all of this awareness, people have grown a liking.
Right.
So there's less people that are afraid of it now.
Yeah, I think it makes a difference. I think when people see like pictures on social media and stuff like that, it definitely makes a difference. Like, especially for weddings and stuff, right? Like, I think people realize, like, I get it in person. It might be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But then, especially for weddings and stuff, you kind of need that for pictures.
Absolutely.
Right?
And what I've heard pretty much every bride say, whether I did their makeup or I didn't, I should have gone heavier in my makeup because in the pictures, it looks like I'm wearing nothing. So when you start off very natural, like actually natural, then it doesn't show up. But if you want natural looking makeup, that means you're still doing the concealer, you're still doing,
you're still
but you're
doing
just like you're doing the second skinning and you're
Exactly.
building little layers and you're, you know, trying to remove texture as much as possible, which is impossible to tell you the truth. But it just has to appear natural. That means you're just not doing like drag style.
Exactly. Well, because even like the no makeup look is still no makeup look.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I think more people know that now.
Yeah.
And it's more accepted, so people are like willing to experiment a little bit more. But definitely it was tough for me in the beginning because I'm like, I want to do all these nice things, but I can't do it because
people are looking for the natural looks. I know. You want to play around, you want to get creative.
Yeah. But I've always been the person, I will do what you need me to do because at the end of the day, you are wearing this, you need to feel confident. If something feels off for you, you're not going to show up with your best self. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So I'll do
whatever
you.
Ask for. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, it's whatever the
client
is looking
wants.
for.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I know we touched on this a little bit, but I would like to know a little bit more.
Okay.
So who was your inspiration?
Like as in a person?
Yeah, or like person, or like maybe not a specific person, maybe just overall, like
where did I draw the inspiration from?
Yeah.
Okay. I will have to say definitely Bollywood.
Oh yeah.
Right? I feel like back then, I think Bollywood actresses were another level of glamorous. They still are.
Yeah.
I still think like we have some of the most beautiful women in the world. You know, it's just the perfection, the eyebrows, the features, and makeup just looked good.
Yes. They knew how to like make eyes stand out.
Right?
And, like,
Middle Eastern and South Asian.
Middle Eastern makeup?
That was
God.
And I grew up in the Middle East. Right? I grew up in Dubai, so I also was very much inclined to understanding
Yeah.
that style and like kind of incorporating it.
Yeah.
So I would say my inspiration were, Middle Eastern women and Bollywood actresses. Yeah, just stunning.
Yeah, they're stunning. Like I said, like I think the way they would emphasize on the eyes.
Yeah. And something about the way they did their complexion.
Yeah.
And how they filmed it, how they lit everybody.
Yeah.
It was just phenomenal. And I actually got to enjoy my little Bollywood moment as a makeup artist.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So I ended up going to India for some project. I can't remember. This was right out after makeup school, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a period of like 2 to 3 months. I'd gone to Bombay. I was born in Bombay. And what happened was I was shopping one day and I popped into this, nice mall, like a shopping center. And I noticed a store called Bharat and Doris.
Okay.
And I knew the name because they had just won the IFA award for Best Makeup Artist for Om Shanti Om.
No, wait. Do they still have those awards? Like best
IFA?
makeup? I know there's IFA, but do they still have like best makeup artist awards?
I actually don't know. I'm
actually,
not sure.
That's actually so cool. I wish they did.
So they just won it.
That's
And I'd
amazing.
known about that.
Yeah.
And IFA is actually my mama ji, his really good, like close childhood friends that actually own Wizcraft Entertainment.
No way.
So I called up my mama and I'm like, can you please call them and get a meeting set up or something? Can you I want to be a fly on the wall, please, right? He's like, yeah. I'm not gonna say their name, but he's gonna call you and he's gonna ask you when you're here until and and he'll get your meeting set up. So the friend called me. He's like, yeah, just pop in. They're expecting you.
Huh?
And I'm like, okay.
As like a makeup artist?
No, they're just like they're just
like
and talk to you.
Oh my god, okay.
And I was just like, I just want to talk. I don't even know what I want at this point. I just want to know, I wanted to know about this industry in India and in film and television because that was something I was considering.
Yeah.
So then they had this amazing line of cosmetics. Amazing.
Okay.
So they were actually the MAC distributors initially for India.
Oh.
This couple.
Oh.
And then they developed their own line, and I started using their brushes and their eyeshadows, and I'm like, this is made for our skin.
Oh wow! Do you remember the line, or can you?
It's
say
called
the line?
Bharat and Doris.
Oh, it's right.
It's
Yes,
called Bharat and Doris
yes.
Cosmetics.
Yeah.
So at one point I was like, can I bring this to Canada?
Yeah.
Right? Because there were not a lot of makeup lines
For
made
South
for
Asian.
South Asian at the time. There were some, but that was a thought. I was like, okay, let's not jump the gun. You need an investment.
Yeah.
Right? I haven't fully started working and earning and,
Yeah.
all of that either. So just
Pause.
go sit and talk to them. So they're like, are you here for like another month or two? I'm like, I could be.
Yeah. What do you have in
What do
mind?
you have? I'm like, I just want to be a fly on the wall, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, look, Lakme India Fashion Week is coming up.
Yes.
And we also do a lot of sub events and we do a hair and makeup. So like the IMATS equivalent
Yes.
in India, the biggest trade show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Now you have designers and makeup artists like Mickey Contractor doing a demo.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
have like all these big designers. You have all the Bollywood celebrities
Yeah.
coming in to
Yeah.
actually, because everybody's worked with Bharat and Doris.
Yeah.
So they're like, would you like to help us out for this? I'm like, 100%.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
So they're like, come in. These are your dates until the show. This is what you need to do. Come in and learn. So I was just watching. I was just trying to. I'm like, here, I'll hold the damn.
Yeah. I'll just stand there.
I'll just stand there. I was always that person. Like,
of
I'll
course,
go in
you're
humble.
learning. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here to do whatever you need me to do.
Yeah.
And then I think they grew a liking to me. And
Amazing.
I think
You're a very likable person.
Oh,
So I get it.
thank you. I think a week before the event, they were like, how about we feature you as our international makeup artist?
Stop it.
But you have to do a full demo. I'm like,
Oh my god, the pressure though.
they're like, what could you do something that's different and unique? And
Oh my god.
I'm like, So
That is
I for some reason decided to do some sort of like face painting body art instead of makeup. I don't know what I was thinking. I had to get a model. I had to get like the whole concept figured out in a week. And it just was surreal to me, right?
That
but
is, yeah.
And I'm like shitting bricks at the same time.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Because I'm in, like, you're literally in a theater.
Yeah.
In front of so many people.
Yeah.
And you have to do this demonstration.
Yeah.
And you have to, like, oh yeah, I know all of their line. And
yeah.
but I was selling it, man.
Oh, so, good for you. I'd be like,
So they featured me as their international makeup artist. Who's there? Jaya Bachchan.
Oh my
Manisha
God.
Koirala.
Oh
There's
my
like,
God.
I'm telling
they're
you,
like the OGs.
I'm just like hyperventilating inside,
Yeah.
okay? And now, who else is in this show? There's all the makeup artists, big ones
Yeah.
from India, from all over India.
Yeah.
So there's one guy who is like the dada, right?
Of the makeup artist.
He has worked on Mother India,
Oh, wow.
Mughal-e-Azam,
Damn.
and like all those big
Those-
classic movies. He's worked on Madhubala. Like that's
He does those kind of looks. So he's like...
no, like he's like the
what I'm
original
saying. Yeah.
recipe, right?
Yeah.
So here he is, and they call him Pandit Dada.
Oh my God.
In the whole industry, right?
Wow.
So as I'm walking off the stage, he said, "Bete, yeah," and I'm like, I'm gonna actually
shaking.
faint now, right? I'm going to faint. I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And he just put his hand on my head, and he's like, "Bete, tum bahut aage jaogi."
Aww. He gave you his
He
blessing.
gave me his blessing. I don't even think if he remembers me, or I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But he saw talent in you.
But he saw talent in me, and it was like a cathartic moment. I think I stepped aside and I cried.
Oh my God.
I cried.
I totally would too.
And all of this was happening to me again while in a very difficult, bad relationship.
Oh my God.
Right? So this was always like the way my life was going. My career was going so well, already off to such a good start, but like my personal life was just a complete shit show.
But that's how you like know that, like, you know, despite what was happening in your personal life, you still had the confidence.
Did I?
To get in there, and people saw talent though, right?
I think confidence could be one thing, because my spirit wasn't broken.
Yeah.
And you're young. You're too young for your spirit to have, because you think, oh, I'm 21, 22, whatever, and you have this whole life ahead of you, and you know you have to do all the things you need to do. So the focus and the direction was always there.
Yeah.
But there were always anchors in my life.
Yeah.
Right? This is why the movie It Ends With Us spoke to me so much, because I literally saw me in every single one of those scenes.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was like, you are here and you're this woman who is whole.
Yeah.
There's so much in you. There's so much good energy, and like you just need to expel.
Yeah.
And here you are with a bruised eye, right? And you're just like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
How did I let this happen?
Yeah.
You don't even know when
That,
you do.
in the moment, you're just in it.
You're just in it.
You're just in it.
And you're naive, and you think it's love.
Yeah.
And you think it's not.
And yeah, that's what it is. You think that you're just like, oh, you know what? It's just a phase, or it's like it's fine.
Is it a phase, or is it just our culture? It makes us believe that men are just like that. You know how many times I've heard
the fact that it's like normalized is really messed up.
Men are just like that.
So
no,
messed
no,
up.
they're not.
They're not.
No, they're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to be.
Anyhow, so this happened, but now there's the rebellious side. So the week approaching this, I decided I'm gonna chop my hair off. I'm gonna completely go fire engine red, because I want to just be edgy.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna experiment?
Well, exactly. I had red hair too. I loved it. I was obsessed.
Right?
I
had like this front razor cut going on. I had a fade in the back.
Damn, you like went like edgy.
And what do? I book myself a tattoo appointment in India.
Just all of it.
And
all of it.
I drew this masterpiece.
Oh wow!
I've never shared.
I know you haven't. I know you have like a few tattoos, but I've always wanted to know like what they're all about.
So the girl
Yeah.
She is a representation of me. And attached to her head, or attached
The back.
to her head,
Yeah.
is like this crazy device.
Oh, yeah,
has
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
lipstick. You see that? It's a little
yeah, those are the
lipstick.
lipsticks. That's like a brush. Those are
That's
like
a little
mascara.
Exactly.
Oh, I love
But
that.
I wanted her to look like a warrior because that's who I am inside. I am.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's
sick.
what I see myself, my true self as.
Yeah.
You know, I will fight the demons and I will
yeah.
battle it out, you know, internally. So,
Yeah.
and even in my yoga practice, like I always flow most through the warrior poses.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's who I am.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to represent that as well.
love it.
And it signifies it's all on her mind.
Yes.
Because it's on her
It's
head.
headed.
It's attached.
I love it. Yeah.
So it's always on her mind. It's
Yeah.
all on her mind. And I was like, I want to go up on that stage with this.
Yes. Good for you.
And I booked my appointment. I knew the place that I was going to. Really great bunch of guys. I think it took 8 hours or 9 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, 8-9 hours. And I was like, I gotta get inked.
Oh wow.
This is a
8-9
big moment.
hours for that. Wow, good for you.
Right? I will never regret this.
Yeah.
Never in my life.
I feel that way about when I first got my tattoo too. I would never regret it.
Again, imposter syndrome at its finest.
And
Like, what are
that
you
happens.
doing here? What the hell? Who are you to teach anybody?
It takes time to be
anything?
like, shit, like I earned this. I got this. I deserve this.
I was just like, is this luck by chance? You know?
Luck
Luck by chance.
Of course, movie reference.
Right. And then the interesting thing was, like, you know how you have MTV India and Eros Entertainment, all these media companies that come cover these events.
Yeah.
They came in to do interviews with all the celebrities.
Yeah.
And so they use my segment.
What do you mean?
As they use my segment in to fill in between the interviews of the right. And then I just ended up seeing it on YouTube one day, and this was YouTube when it just started. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's on there anymore.
I was gonna say, I'm like, is this footage still there?
I look for
I don't
it.
want to see it.
I'll look for it for sure. And then so now you're seeing yourself.
That is amazing.
I'm just like, what is happening?
It's a lot.
Is everything in the universe just aligned for
Yes.
me? And anyhow, what ended up happening was my parents were like, you need to get back.
Yeah.
You need to come back. You can't be in India anymore. A lot of things were happening.
Yeah.
I think my dad's side of the family, they're just conservative
Okay.
in the sense, like, they didn't understand, or I'm the bad influence, right? For
You're
their
like the
daughter
rebellious
because
one.
now I'm tattooed up and I am staying out late because I'm meeting people, I'm networking, I have friends. So they would like go open my place and then to make sure if I've come home at night, and then they would call my parents and they would call my dad and be like, yeah, your daughter this, your daughter that.
Oh my god, that's so
And
annoying.
my poor mom, you know, she did whatever she could to, she's like, look at what your daughter is doing.
Yes. Yeah, like, can you look at the bigger picture?
Yeah.
Look at the bigger picture.
Anyhow, so I was always pretty used to being that black sheep for lack of a better word. Like, I don't really give a shit.
Same. Yeah, I get it.
You know, I don't care what you think, but were they causing fights? Again, anchors in every aspect outside of my work, you know? And unfortunately, this is the story of women in India, or just women.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you want to just push and like succeed, and you want to just work and put all your energy
heart
out
and
there
energy into it.
and they just want to chip at you.
I know. They want to just like find something.
You're inadequate. You're inadequate.
Yeah.
You're inadequate no matter what you do. You're inadequate.
Yeah.
So, and that was a very hard thing to try and communicate with my dad, right?
Yeah.
Because traditional.
So
it's okay. I came back and I said, Pandit Dada blessed me, so
you're good now.
I'm good now.
All
I
the
don't
blessings in the world.
Literally. So funny. And yeah, that was my little Bollywood moment.
Did you ever consider or think about ever like going back and kind of getting back into it?
I did consider it.
Yeah.
But I also realized, like, the industry, as someone new, it's India. It has its challenges, you know, and they don't treat you like a human being in the beginning.
It's a tough industry. The Bollywood industry is a tough industry.
Maybe they would have like been like, yeah, come on over, work with us, with our team. But I think once you're with certain people day in and day out, and there's tough schedules, and already the family's making such a big deal about like nothing. Yeah. Imagine if I'm in India living there under their supervision, even though I'm not living in their house, but even if I had my own place or whatever, you're gonna be like, why are you going on shoot? Why are you going there? Like
there's always some sort of... I
can't live like that, man. Yeah. I don't surveil me.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
And I'm not that person. Same. I'm a butterfly.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, please just don't tell me what to do. Thank you.
And the moment you tell me what to do out of authority, I will do exactly the opposite. Yeah. Like that's my rebellious nature.
Yeah. I'm kind of like that.
I'm a gundi in that sense. Yeah. My mom's always told me, it's like, tension dene ka
that's so cute.
Lines. She's so funny.
That is also like a Bollywood dialogue.
It is. Yeah. She's super dramatic and fun. So I've got her like badassery. Yeah. Like I've definitely inherited it. Yeah. So I came back. And then I started doing whatever I was doing. Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing. Yeah. That's very inspiring too, though. Like it's just like things kind of just exactly. Like I feel like you kind of manifested it.
Yeah, that was definitely the high. But then what happened as life went on? Yes, the struggles. Then it became where externally everything was just depleting me. Yeah. I was just being depleted. And so there was a point where I think I was on autopilot.
Yeah. You were just you were like, all right, just got to keep going.
Yeah. I wasn't willing to learn more. That's when social media, Instagram had just started. I should have been an early adopter. Mm-hmm. I know, but I was so busy trying to pay my bills. Yeah. I'm doing the 9 to 5. One day, I bought an older house. One day the toilet needs fixing, so you have to get a plumber.
That's like so hard when you have a house, to be honest.
$400-$500. Then one day my tenant decides to give me 30-day notice in the basement, and now I have to, have to fund the rest of it. Yeah. Or some repair, and you are just at an entry level salary, right? So it's really hard. And it's not like my family came out and be like, oh, don't worry, we'll support you.
Yeah. Right? You just had to figure it out on your own.
I had to figure it out on my own, which is probably a good thing too.
Makes you strong, independent.
Yeah. And again, not a very good partner.
Yeah, and I think
destruction. So I
think that makes such a big difference.
Really, really makes. I think the biggest and best life hack is find the right partner.
Oh, 100%. Do not settle. It's not worth it. Like, I think some people think that like by just having a partner is like enough. No. It's like no. Like, you need a good partner, someone who can be your companion. Yeah. A partner is it's not just about having a husband or about just having a boyfriend. Yeah, no. Partner is partner in life.
Exactly. And they will support your dreams, and they'll try to figure out how you can do what you're doing better.
Yeah. They'll bring out the best version of you.
Not download more insecurities. Yeah. I remember I became insecure about my skin color. There were comments like about my skin color, that I'm tan. But the funny thing is, so are you. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, yeah. Okay, so that was one. Then number 2 was, you had to get out of your house and your family didn't want you, because so there was that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they didn't want you, so you had to escape. And if you come from this kind of a family,
he was projecting.
Oh my god. And let me tell you, alcoholism.
Anyone who does that shit and he's an alcoholic, the amount of insecurities.
Alcohol ran in the family. The dad, him, Jekyll and Hyde personality. And it was just all gaslighting. All the gaslighting. And then it was, the mother. Basically, I think she wanted someone head down, 9 to 5. Forever, obedient and submissive, and that's not who I am. I'm never gonna be that person. Yeah. So, God, did I dodge a bullet? Oh my God, did I dodge a bullet?
You dodged a bullet.
I really thank God for just pushing me in the right direction. Yeah. Because after that, I had to have a real, I had to do a check.
Oh yeah, I know. I went through the same thing.
I had to. Then my mom was encouraging me to meet more people.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll set up profile. Blah, blah, blah. And I was meeting these guys and one after another. I'm just like, I cannot understand the level of shittiness that exists in our culture. What have these people done to our men?
Yeah, and also like I feel like after that you need some time to process even just like yourself.
Oh my God.
Right? Like I remember when I went through my breakup, I went on like a solo trip.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
I checked into an ashram.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Oh, no way. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
It was a yoga ashram.
That's amazing. I actually wanted to do something like that. I ended up going to Cuba.
I love it. It's like, I'm gonna go party.
Yeah.
Which is,
I actually didn't. I honestly I went to Cuba to just be on the beach, to be able to journal, to have my own schedule.
Beach, please.
Yeah, literally, it was beach, please. Literally, I was like, that's all I need. And I love that. The amount of journaling I did.
That's what it is. I think the quietness in nature.
Yes.
It really makes you ask yourself the toughest questions. The ashram that I went to was in California.
Oh, wow.
It was Grass Valley, so I had to fly into Sacramento. I had to take this long bus ride. Someone had to pick me up from the station from the ashram.
Wow, I want to go to an ashram. We should go to an ashram together.
It was beautiful. Yeah. There were like llamas everywhere.
Oh, that's so nice.
I had my little froggy friend. Every morning I'd go by the little river.
Yeah. And your froggy friend would come.
My froggy friend would be there. I'm like, how many
Did
do
you
I have to kiss
for Prince?
For your prince, right? I used to ask as a joke. None of you turn. None of you turn.
That's so funny.
But yeah, it was amazing. We'd wake up at 4.
Yeah.
Yoga class was from 5 to 7.
Yeah.
So 2-hour yoga class. Then you do your breakfast and whatever. This food was only twice a day.
Yeah.
Very, very like vegan, very clean.
Wow. Yeah.
And you're supposed to do this thing where you do like karma yoga.
Yes.
So someone's finished their plate, you pick it up. Just something about that act of service. There's so much meaning in that for me at that moment. And someone did that for me. And you just go into the kitchen, you just do your part and help out. Yeah. And that was the culture that it created.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the day, essentially, it was either a second yoga class, which I would try to do. Then you attend like the satsang.
Okay.
You have to do a little bit of the meditation and the chanting and the prayer, right?
Yeah.
I found that very peaceful as well. And I would just, for the most part, go up onto the peak of one of the hills. And there was like a little Shiv temple.
Okay,
which was just very simple. There was nothing elaborate, just a little shivling. And there was like a little stool or sandliya, whatever you call that, right? I just sit there and I just ask God, like, I need help.
Yeah.
What are these patterns? Like, I want to thrive. Please send me someone. I need love. I just want true love. This is the one thing I want in my life. I don't care for like crazy riches. I don't care for material things. I just want to be loved, because I felt like I wasn't seen as a child, right? And growing up. So I want someone to, and I will do the same back for them. I will go tenfold.
Yes.
And right away as I came back, I'd already met my husband. And I knew the moment I saw him, like, there's something here.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
There is something just
like, give me a sign. Is this the man of my dream? Give me a sign. The
sign, like, you know in your gut, right? Like, your whole body is, like, just exploding out. It's like this, but then you're like, no, this can't happen.
Yeah.
We're not from
the
same.
And I think it's, like, at least for myself, like, I think even when I met my boyfriend now, like, I felt something, but I started questioning myself. Yeah. Right? Because
your judgment.
Yeah. And I was just crazy? Like, I'm like, is it like, I still was very like, exactly. I had my distance, but I knew there was something there.
There's something real. Yeah. There's something's changing inside you, right?
Yeah.
And I think after seeing so much toxicity, you can spot a diamond.
Yeah.
You can just spot it.
Yeah.
And his entire being just radiated goodness, which I could not ignore.
Yeah.
And we also love the same music, so there was that.
Yeah, I know. Connecting on music is a huge thing.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, I feel like God really answered my prayers, because, like, I can tell you what a blessing it is to be with someone who will support your dreams no matter what.
Yes.
And not just him, the family. No one thinks you're dark. You're too dark. No one thinks that what you do as a profession is less.
Yeah.
They're all like my husband, they're all pharmacists.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And here I am, just a hairstylist, right? But never once that it's
They
almost like they
question it.
celebrate what I
Yeah,
do.
that's
I'm
amazing.
they give me the respect that you're the expert in
Yeah.
this, and it's just so sweet and humbling. I'm
Yeah.
like, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree,
Yeah.
right? But even now, if he tells me, he's like, if you want to give your nervous system a rest, you want to stay home and be a stay-at-home wife,
Yeah.
or whatever it is you want to do,
Yeah.
I tell me,
Support
we'll
it.
make it happen.
That is so important. That's very sweet.
Right?
Yeah.
And you just know this person
Yeah.
supports it, and you want to do exactly that's why you want to work harder and be better. And
That's why you want to give even
wanna give
more.
more.
Because you're not like doing it because it's like, oh, I want this person to like me. You're doing it because it's like out of respect. It's
out
like
of respect,
and
love, and
love
this
and-
purpose of doing something for somebody
Yeah.
else. You know, it could have very easily been that cycle, that really vicious
That doesn't
cycle.
break, yeah.
You know, I remember someone, this was when memes were new, and like
Yeah.
they just had been circulating, like
yeah.
the beginning of memes. Someone sent me something, it's like, nice girl meets bad boy,
Oh, yeah.
turns nice girl into bitch. Bitch meets nice boy,
Yeah.
turns nice,
Nice
boy, into asshole.
Yeah.
Asshole. That's just this
Yeah.
vicious cycle. I'm like, I will not
Not go
do
into
that.
that
I will
cycle.
not project
Same.
this into this. I will
Same.
not bring this garbage. It is
Same.
not anybody's fault
Yeah.
what happened before.
Yeah.
And God, you deal with them.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I was too. I was like, I am not losing myself
No.
in this. Like, yeah, I changed after the whole experience, but I didn't become a bitch.
No. I refuse. And,
Yeah.
and I did. Okay, I will be very honest. I think this is just part of what happens as you're evolving, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so much bitterness inside
Yeah.
you. Plus, you're seeing all your friends get married,
Yeah.
and everyone's life is just moving on.
Yeah.
Right? You start to feel like you get this power because now suddenly you realize, like, I actually have the power,
Yes, exactly. I have the control,
right?
but not over someone else, over myself.
No, even there's some of those guys that, you know, those boys that just want the trophy.
Oh, yeah.
So and they're willing to put up with whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you can treat them like complete. They'll eat. Right? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but like
no, yeah.
it's literally that. And I was like, this, I will never be able to respect you. You know,
Actually
I will
put up
never
with
be
that.
able to respect you. And the fact that I'm like feeling like I'm feeding off this power, this is a bad road to go
Oh,
down.
100%. Yeah, like I feel like when it came to guys, like I was never attracted to them.
Yeah. But you know, when you start
when
to
you- yeah.
realize, like,
You could have
because
that power.
if you don't be like this,
Yeah.
then they're eat or get eaten. That's the
Yes.
mindset you start to have after going through
Yes.
such
Yeah.
trauma, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I had the realization at the ashram too. Like, you will not be that person.
Yeah.
You will, in fact, every bad experience that's happened to you, you're gonna convert that into more loving energy.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That is your purpose.
And also just looking at any, bad experience like that as just something that, okay, well, now I know more of what I don't want. Now I know more of what I want and what I don't want. And that's what I'm taking out of this
Exactly.
experience.
And what happened to me may not be my fault.
Yeah.
But it is my responsibility to that is a line that I will always tell
me
myself, because I'm no victim and I will never be a victim. And shit happens.
It's very important to not just blame the other person.
No, I had a part in it. I stuck, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
I enabled.
And it's not about blaming yourself.
No.
It's not about that. It's about
Taking accountability. That's it.
I let my ex say the things that he said.
Yeah.
I let myself take it personally to the point where
believe it.
And believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I let my confidence go down, my self-worth go down. Right? Yeah. Whereas now it's like, if anyone treats me that way, I'm be like, excuse me, don't talk to me.
Okay,
like
bye.
That. Yeah, bye.
Whatever you say or do is
Yeah,
not
it doesn't
making
matter.
any difference
Yeah,
to me.
Exactly.
Kali wali.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. No, exactly.
I love
That's
that word so much.
Kali wali.
Kali wali. Right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And again, this doesn't have to do with, us treating men poorly.
No.
Or
I'm such an advocate
No.
I want men to thrive.
Exactly.
And be good.
Yes.
Be men.
Be a man. Yeah.
Good
Exactly.
leaders.
Exactly.
You know?
I want a leader. I want a man.
Yeah. I want to obey.
Just like, don't control me, but like,
But
you
there's
know,
such a there's so much respect in. I think we are programmed like this.
Yeah.
You know, my big fat Greek wedding. What was the saying? He might be the head of the family, but I am the neck.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
I will
yeah,
turn
yeah.
the head in whatever
Yes.
direction I want. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
it's literally that.
Yeah.
But having like a good, strong leader
For
is
sure.
just. It's beautiful.
100%. And being a leader doesn't mean to be controlling. Being a leader means to be a man that can take care of himself, you, but also bring out the best version of you, support you.
He's leading you into a beautiful, wholesome life, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a biggest life hack.
Yeah.
Just don't waste your time and energy and effort. What you're capable of outside these toxic spheres that you've created for yourself is so much more.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at with that.
I agree.
I see, I mean, I have had some friends that I've been that support system for them. I'm like, you know, they've come out of this relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm here. I'm like, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And then they relapse. And the relapse is worse.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I think when it comes to these kind of things, of course, that support is important. But at the end of the day, it's on you.
It's on you. Yeah.
It's on you. Like, no one can force you to have a certain mindset. No one can force you to, you know, pick a certain kind of guy. Yeah. Like, I'm a huge believer in just kind of letting it happen. Unless, like, my friends specifically come up to me and they're like, okay, what do you think about this person? Blah, blah, blah. Other than that, I'm like, at the end of the day, I want you to just be aware. I don't know your relationship. I might know bits and pieces of it, but at the end of the day, you know it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you also have a degree in psychology.
Yeah. But I'll never just flat out be like, this guy's not for you. If they're not asking me for that.
Yeah. If I get asked, I
if
can't
I get
help
asked,
it.
If I get asked, then I'll give my honest opinion.
Yeah. If I
will give my honest opinion. If I'm not being asked, and
it's not my business.
It's not my business.
Yeah.
It's not my business. Like, I feel like, you know, I never want my friends to get hurt.
Yeah.
I never want them to get hurt. But you learn from these things a lot.
You do. 100%. And you know what's funny is, I guess because of all of these situations and difficulties and like building this resilience and just trying to just learn what being a good human being is.
Yeah.
I always realized that I had always one friend or relationship in my life that was also struggling similarly.
Yeah.
And I was like acting as a life coach.
Yes.
Because I'm getting myself through it. So the knowledge and information is fresh.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the work, but you're not. So let me tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
And so then another friend of mine very recently, she's like, you always have a project. Sonam, going on. You're always there trying to help save somebody. I was like, that is the best thing you could have told me. I did not realize that was my pattern.
Yeah.
And after that, I decided, no, I can't.
Yeah.
I cannot have those, because none of those projects have actually, no, I shouldn't say none. Some have turned a whole new leaf, which is nice to see.
Okay, good.
Right?
Yeah.
But like, I think the ones that impacted me the most relapsed. You know,
Yeah.
So she's like, you always seem to have a project.
Yeah.
And that's probably because you've never felt supported.
Yeah. So you need to be that support.
So you need to be that support. I'm like, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And then my most recent breakup project.
Yes.
After that point, I realized, I'm like, no, I will channel that energy.
Yeah, exactly.
By doing this.
Yeah.
Because I do want to support women.
Of
I
course.
do see it. Like, that is, I know so many more are going through this type of thing, or they're just they're just stuck, or
They're
maybe they're
just
just not
stuck.
supported in their family, or they're
Yeah.
like, why do you want to do this?
Yeah.
You know, whatever stage they may be. So
Yeah.
I decided to channel my energy into
Yes.
that instead,
That's amazing. Yeah.
rather than
Being like that.
I physically don't have the energy to carry that level of emotional.
It gets a lot. It's yeah, it definitely gets very draining.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically.
Yeah. And I think after my brother passed away, that's when I noticed these people wanted more from me.
Oh my god, but like they should be like
They should be there
supporting
for
you.
me.
Yeah.
But nope.
That's hard because you're going through your own shit, and now on top of that,
And the thing is, like, the way I go through shit is also in my own house on my own time. I will process it. I might have like a very dark day, you know?
Yeah.
It's just normal. But when it comes to being out in the world, no, stoic.
yeah,
That's one thing I've tried to learn from men, right?
Right.
The stoicism.
yeah,
But just because I don't show that, it's not fair for you to come in here and dump on me every single time. I'm already carrying so much weight
yes,
here.
yeah.
And here you are telling me the same thing, the same patterns that you're not fixing. I'm exhausted with you.
Yeah, I think when patterns, I think like it starts getting very draining when it's like you're coming to me for advice. You're coming to me to...
No, I'm just a garbage dump
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
Because
No matter what is being said, it's just...
you keep doing the same things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I a hard boundary for me now. I just can't. And what I noticed when I made that switch, I started realigning myself with a lot of amazing women suddenly.
Yeah. No,
You,
that haven't... Oh,
Maria,
thank
you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I call you guys my business girlies.
No.
But there's a different mindset.
Oh, totally. I noticed that too. Like, I went through like something similar where it was like a very, very close friend of mine. And again, same thing, like, 20 years of friendship, same thing. And like,
Oh my gosh.
patterns just over and over again, the amount of grace, the amount of support, like it's just, and it got to a point where I'm just kind of like, listen, like I don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
You maxed your threshold.
And so, I got to a point where I kind of set a certain boundary, and same thing happened to me. After I did that, I started meeting people who aligned with where I am, with not only like where I am in life, but also just morals and values. And that's like huge.
And they say you are the average of the 5 people that you're around. Make those 5 people count.
Of course.
And I don't know if this is selfish necessarily. I know in this day and age, we all, or society, wants to rub shoulders with the people that have status.
Yes.
And this and that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. But for me, I want to align myself with people that are better.
Yes.
In the sense, they have a better
head on
moral
their shoulder,
code, a better head,
because I want to learn from them.
Learn from you, and you're willing to teach.
Yes.
And I will learn. I will pick up like something so simple as that advice that I was given changed my life, actually.
Yeah.
Like thanks to that, now I have better friends.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Who support my business.
Yeah.
I support theirs.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what I want.
Yeah. And it makes and people, like what people say, like your environment is who you are. It's true.
It is.
It's very cliche, but it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah. So definitely in business, that has to be something you really have to focus on.
Yes.
Like if it's dead weight, get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Especially like, at that point where you're trying to build something.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have time or space for people who are like that.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Don't be an opportunist.
No, yeah.
You also have to give.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, that's just the way it has to go.
Yeah.
If you want to progress and do better in your life,
of course.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. You need people who can align.
Mm-hmm. And what's another thing that is repetitive in my life, like I guess you can call it a quote: entrepreneur's mind, an athlete's body, and an artist's soul.
Oh, I love that.
That speaks to me.
I love that.
And that is exactly who I am. And that's exactly who I aligned myself to becoming so many years later.
I love that. I need to like have that written down somewhere. So
it's actually on my mood board now.
Yeah, I feel like I need to have it like on my mirror or my mood board.
Yeah, and I
love
do
that.
these morning reflections every day. And every once in a while I'll bring it back up.
Yeah.
Again, because it's just what I think of in the morning.
And you need those reminders.
Reminders, yeah. And this athlete's body, like, if we can expand on that, it's not so much to have a good body.
Yeah.
It's what that athleticism, that mindset does for you.
That energy.
And I think in every solid woman I've seen in business has some sort of physical activity training or some sort of discipline that they have built into their lifestyle. And you can see how they think just with so much clarity
100%,
right?
Yeah.
And of course the side effect is you're strong.
You're
strong and you're athletic. And I feel, I'm not to toot my own horn, but my husband says, he's like, you're in the best shape of your life.
You look amazing.
And it's like you're
like my inspo.
Oh my God. You.
I'm dead. You.
I'm both like, I can't handle it sometimes, and I'm like, I'm what? Huh? Like literally looking at you right now. It's already weird enough for me to talk about myself so much. I had to really like think about these topics in depth before because I'm not used to it.
I know, I get it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
I know, and like, and that's like even one of the things I do in my classes. Like, I try to get people. I know how uncomfortable it is. But I try to get people to get used to, acknowledging their achievements.
Yeah.
And what they're proud of.
Yeah.
And like even saying things that they're proud of out loud.
Yeah.
It's
a
important.
good feeling.
Yeah.
There are, as much as I have imposter syndrome lately, I think it could be because good partner, good lifestyle.
Yeah.
And just whatever I've cultivated in my life. I have those days like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You are winning at life.
Exactly.
And I'm just like not ashamed or this is you're winning at life.
Yeah, there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Arrogance,
arrogance is not cute.
It's not confidence.
No.
Right?
It's not cute at all.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I have a person in this house will never allow it.
Yeah.
If he even senses the slightest bit of arrogance, because sometimes you just have
you're just like
sassy day, right? I'm just like he will humble you in a second.
Yeah.
Like God bless him.
Yeah.
That's what you need in a leader.
But that's what you need. There you go.
Right.
There you go. Yeah.
So you need some form of physical exercise in your life.
100%.
Dance being one of them.
Yeah.
Weight train.
Yeah.
Weight
training. I know. Yeah. It like while you're doing it, you're mentally just feeling stronger. Physically, of course, but like mentally,
you are reversing in age.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. Muscle.
Yes.
Is the best anti-aging, right? And I don't know why it clicked a little bit later.
Yeah.
Imagine if I just did it earlier, maybe I could have bypassed.
I thought about that too.
But shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? So it came into my life when it was necessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the best thing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then you just look at yourself month after month. You're like,
yeah.
Like
I did that?
Yeah, I did that. Right?
Yeah.
Like you feel so and there's certain days of the month where you're like extra cut and extra lean and you're like,
yeah, 100%.
Now just don't eat anything for like the whole day. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, just don't you'll be fine then.
just dehydrate yourself a little bit. No, totally kidding. That's unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's so unhealthy.
Yeah, no. You need a good balance.
You need a good balance.
Yeah.
For sure. If this episode hit home for you, thank you for listening and holding space for me. I know what it's like to feel like you're building in the dark and carrying so much pain while chasing purpose. But I also know this, you're stronger than you think. You only break if you let them break you. And your vision is valid, even if no one else sees it yet. So if my story spoke to you, please share this episode with someone who needs a little light right now. And stay tuned for the next one. And don't forget to subscribe, follow the CEOs of the Six, and leave a comment below. It helps more women hear stories like this one. Until next time, keep glowing, keep growing, and keep going.